it's hard to describe the feeling other than say disappointed. Disappointed for my players, for our fans, and we're certainly going to put that behind us. Been here before, done this, and the only thing I know to do is get back in the saddle and go again. And you know, we are looking towards the future, and the future is today and tomorrow and the next day. That's where the future lies. And we got opportunities to help our football team get better, and that's what our focus is, and that's what we intend to do. With that said, I'll start answering questions.
Chief, you know, Amon Watts is a guy that hadn't played very much going into this season. What did you see about him that made you decide to put him in the starting lineup, and what's he doing to be so productive? What have you thought of his play so far?
Well, I think, first of all, John Scott's done a great job with our tackles, and you know, that's a big factor. You know, we've seen those guys grow. I think they're playing solid football for us. I think it was an opportunity for us to get our four best up front guys in the game, and that's what we're going to continue to do. You know, we got a team that we can help improve, and certainly Watts has been one of those guys that have taken that charge along with several other guys. And you know, we're going every week, and it may change. You know, said this way back in the spring, depending on who we're playing and who's available for us, we're going to try to get our best 11 on the field.
Has he surprised you?
No, not really. I mean, he's got some talent. He's got some talent, and like I said, a lot of these guys, and you know, I don't know what the numbers are, but you know, certainly some of them are playing. You know, really, even though they're not freshmen, they're playing their first season at Arkansas. So we're seeing that, and we're seeing guys that are getting better, and that's where the focus has to be. How much better can we get every day? Every day. And if we can make progress every day and keep it headed in the direction, then certainly there's going to be better football down the road.
Just open field tackling, how do you kind of get better at that during a game week without beating yourselves up, you know, with good on good?
Well, that's a good question, and it's all about technique. You know, you don't necessarily have to beat guys up to teach them and get better. You know, it's about getting to the point of attack and having your foot position where it needs to be, your feet where they need to be, and really focusing on the target. And you know, we got a little sloppy Saturday, not up to our standard in terms of tackling, but you know, we will. And to be quite honest with you, we worked drills yesterday for that.
Yeah, Coach, through 3 weeks, you know, John Harris, he's been pretty consistent as far as making tackles, and he's even gotten in a position to break up some passes. Just what's been your takeaway from him through 3 weeks? He's been pretty consistent.
I'm sorry, I can't quite hear you.
Scooter Harris just been so consistent through 3 weeks. Just your thoughts on him so far?
Well, I think Scooter played good football for Arkansas last year. There's no question about that. He's mature. He understands. He's smart. It didn't take him long to fit himself into our scheme, and I think it's a good fit for him, and it's important to him, and there's no question about that. He studies football. He puts in extra time on his own, and all those things are things that he needs to do to get himself better, and he's going to continue to do that. And you know, I'm pleased. You know, he played 60 snaps Saturday, and you know, we'd like that not to be true all the time. But if he needs to play 70, he's prepared to do that.
You've gone up against Auburn and Gus teams many years in a row now. How do they look now? What are they trying to do? What's your kind of overview of them?
Well, I think they're, number one, you know, they're very talented. You know, they've got size and speed. They're going to always be physical. That's one of the things that you can expect. They're going to try to run the football. When I say try to run the football, they get good at running the football. And, you know, you expect that, and then you're going to expect some vertical game. He's going to throw it downfield. He's going to take his shots. There's no question about that. You know that. And it's going to happen. And, you know, that's what you got to be ready for. And then for a host of trick plays as well. You're going to see those things, those plays that, you know, that he designs, and usually they're well designed, and he's going to run them. And so, you know, you gotta play what he does, and he does a good job. He knows how to adjust. You can see that happening in games, and you know, so we'll see a well-coached, very talented Auburn football team.
Coach, how are you feeling about depth all over your defense at this point through 3 games?
Well, I think we're getting a couple people that has been nicked up. We're getting a couple people back that may be available. I won't know, and I won't speak on that. Coach Morse does that, but we're continuing to do that, and we're pushing the envelope up front. We're going to play guys and get them in there, and it gets to a point where you can practice all you want to, but you only get better when you play games. And certainly, hopefully, our practice will prepare them to be better when they get to the game.
How do you feel Ramsey did his first game back, and is he in position physically to be able to play more snaps this week?
Well, I think he did well. I think he did well. Certainly, they had a plan, in terms of, double teaming, chipping, with a back or a tight end to help him some in protection. But I think he played 26, 28 plays. I'm not sure, but he was productive when he was on the field. He did pressure the quarterback. He did make you move, and that's what we got to be able to do. We can't let a quarterback sit in the pocket and have time to throw. Even though you got to give, North Texas some credit. They got a good scheme. They got a good quarterback, and he got rid of the ball, quick. I didn't mention this earlier, but we gave up 7 explosive plays, and that's 7 too many. You got to eliminate those explosive plays. But when you're playing good offenses, sometimes they're going to make plays. Now, we don't just give in and say, okay, they're going to make a play. We're going to compete on every play. We're going to compete on every play, and that's what we expect, and regardless of who's out there. So depth-wise, we got some guys that we can roll in, and we did, and we'll continue to do that to help build depth.
You had a two-parter. Obviously, Chevin was out, so you seem like you rotated a bunch of guys at that cornerback spot opposite Pulley. Just how do you see that this week? Do you keep playing a lot of guys? In Auburn, they didn't have a big rusher coming back, but I think they're going for their 10th straight year with a 1,000-yard rusher. What have you thought about the Auburn running back so far? Their running game.
I think they've been very effective, and like I said, they're very talented. I had a freshman that showed up in there that, I think it may have been in the Alabama State game that he's got a chance to be really, really special for him down the road. Don't ask me his name. I don't. Yeah, it may be. I don't know. So don't hold that against me that I don't know the name. I know the jersey number, but they're talented. They're talented, and like I said, they're going to get better and better. And what we got to do is get better and better. And we got to keep rolling people. We got to keep fresh people in the game, and that means corners. Sometimes you don't realize how much those guys run. And you look at the GPS after the game, and they've run a lot of yardage. And we want to keep them as fresh as we can because we know we're going to get tested. And that's just the way the game's played today. And you hadn't asked the questions, but there's been talk. How do you feel about playing man? Let me tell you, in this world of football, if you can't play man against spread teams, then it makes it very, very difficult. And we've got to be able to lock up, and we got to be able to play man, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to improve our technique. We're going to play technique better, and we got guys that can do it. They got to get more comfortable with it. They can't panic, and we're going to continue to grow.
Coach, it kind of seems like some of these older guys are maybe a little bit underdeveloped for how many years they've been playing at this level. Do you feel like you're spending a lot of time having to retrain a lot of the basics, like wrapping up and stuff like that?
No, not really. I mean, they're playing in a different system. We got to come in and get them ready, and that's what we got to do. I mean, they're our players, and I love them, and we're going to work hard to get them better every single day. We hadn't played our best football yet, and that's ahead of us. And to make that happen, we all have to stay focused. We all have to stay together, and we all have to believe in one another. You don't get it done unless you do that. And certainly, I can guarantee you this: doubt has not creeped into my mind. It never will. It never will. I'm going to work. I'm going to get on the field. I'm going to do my job. We're going to get the best 11 guys on the field to represent this Arkansas football team, and that's what we're about, and that's what we're going to do.
What's your take on Jarrett Stidham? His second year as a starter for Auburn. What impresses you?
Very, very talented. I think obviously he's got an NFL arm, and it's a shame that he runs so good, but he does. He can move around, he can make you miss, he can make plays. But you know, he's and you expect to see in SEC. You know, you expect to see good quarterbacks, and certainly I think has developed into being a really good quarterback. Thank you very much.